I just want you to understand that these are some of the things that have helped me develop a deeply loving relationship with my wife. A relationship that I've been blessed to have, and to the point where, I'm not boasting about it, I'm just grateful for it. And I hope that by sharing some of these insights of how I show up for my wife, maybe you can do the same, because I too am fatigued. I too am tired. I too am stressed. I too am overwhelmed. I too am physically broken, right? I'm tired. I'm exhausted. I too want to go home and just lay on the couch, eat some food, and watch some football. Like, that's what I want to do when I get home. But that is not what's going to lead me. What is up, my dear friends, and welcome back to another episode of Honey, I'm Home, a podcast that's going to help you to become a better leader within your own home so that you can experience more happiness and health in your relationships within your own home. Today, we are going to be talking about what it means and what it looks like to take responsibility as a man within your own home. This is a huge conversation, a huge topic, and I don't believe that I can cover everything that I want to talk about in today's episode, so it's going to be a little bit of a shorter one. However, I am excited for the conversation to continue to open up with other individuals as this podcast begins to unfold, because I know that we have a lot to share. We have a lot of amazing voices within this community that can share their perspective. And I'm not saying that my perspective is the only perspective, and I'm not even saying that my perspective is the correct perspective. It's just a perspective that I hope brings you maybe a paradigm shift, maybe a change of thought, maybe a change of thinking. I've gotten so much powerful and positive feedback in regards to the first episode. So if you tuned into the first episode that helped you to understand what this podcast is going to be about, I want to say thank you, because I got a lot of good messages and emails. I got phone calls. I got text messages. I got people in my Instagram DMs calling me, telling me how amazing and how ready they are for this conversation to be had on the Honey, I'm Home podcast and on the segment within the Happy Heart Academy podcast. And so I'm just excited that you're here today. You're spending your time with me. You're inviting me into your home. Thank you so much. I make sure that I don't take that for granted, and I don't take that lightly. And I wanted to sit down with you today to talk about the responsibility of a man and what that really looks like. Because I think that men have forgotten their responsibility, not outside of the home, but I'm saying inside of the home. I'm talking about, have you ever asked yourself, as the leader within your own home, what's your responsibility? Are you the type of man that believes his responsibility ends the moment that he gets off of work? You know your responsibilities, your leadership, your to-dos, how you need to show up even when you don't feel like it at work, but you don't know how you're supposed to show up in home when you get home, even when you don't feel like maybe being home. Maybe you don't even feel like showing up. Maybe you don't feel like, giving effort, giving energy, giving love, giving insight, giving your attention, giving your appreciation, giving your praise. Maybe you don't feel like doing that today, but what's being asked of you and what I'm calling you to do is to understand your responsibility inside your home. And I'm hoping through these personal perspectives that you gain some hope, some excitement, some insight, some changing of one's thoughts so that you can start to question what you're currently doing and or not doing. And once again, this holds me accountable. Brian and I have talked about this countless times, is, how the camera and the mic holds you accountable. My wife watches this show. So when I speak, she's definitely the type of wife that holds me accountable to making sure that I am true to myself and I'm true to my word. Now, I fall short all the time. I think we all do. And, it's part of having grace for ourselves and for our significant others, but understanding that there should be a set responsibilities that we should understand as men of our homes, as leader of our homes, that we should really be thinking about, that we should really be allowing ourselves some times to marinate on and meditate on and just really think about deeply about what's it mean to be, what's the responsibility of a man within our own home. So let's start out with this. This is kind of how this is going to run down for the day. Ultimately, I want to talk about the two stereotypes that could be ruining your home life as a man And then I'm going to be talking about multiple different ways in which you can begin to show up and what I believe, my responsibilities are within my own home. And maybe one of those responsibilities might be easily related with you, and you could adopt one of those responsibilities as well. So let's talk about a little bit about there are some stereotypes on what it means to be a man within a home. Like I said, I believe a lot of us men know our responsibilities outside of the home, meaning we know our responsibility is to be the number one stereotype is the breadwinner, right? And now culture is moving in a different dynamic where, for the first time in like human history, where women are becoming leaders, and not just leaders, but also just financial providers, like the main stake winner, the breadwinner, and that's okay. There's nothing against that. I'm just recognizing that the stereotype is that men are the breadwinners of the home. But the problem becomes within the home is that when the man becomes labeled as the breadwinner, the man also assumes their responsibilities of nurturing and caregiving is something that becomes secondhand, right? So when I enter my home knowing that my responsibility is the breadwinner, meaning that I put in a hard days of work. I put on the work boots. I put on the work hat. Now, me not technically, I work in an office, so it's a little bit differently, but the stress is still the same. I stress, I worry, I have anxiety, I have overwhelm, I feel the same, mental strain that you can feel at times. So in our field, no matter where you work, you feel like you have a responsibility, right? And you take on that responsibility, and that is a lot on our minds and our bodies, our spirits, our emotions. So ultimately, when we are labeled as the breadwinner within our home, this allows men to feel and believe that we can almost bring our nurture, our caregiving to the side. We can push it to the side. Like, we don't need to go home and then think about more work. That's the last thing many men want to think about is, I don't want to have to go to work and then come home and do more work. And this is why most families fail, because the man isn't owning up to his responsibility. Yes, your responsibility is to be a provider, which is a breadwinner. However, your responsibility is so much more than just providing some cash on the table, some bread on the table, like my dad would say. There's always going to be bread on the table. Well, bread isn't enough. Bread doesn't even hold significant nutritional value anymore. I don't want bread anymore. We need more. We need to give more. We need to have more responsibilities as a man to feel fulfilled in our home. And so I'm asking you, do you feel like you're just the breadwinner? If you do, it can really decrease the quality of relational experience that you experience inside your home, because you believe that your only identification and what you bring to the table is maybe some financial support. Now, I'm saying that can be a lot. I'm not disregarding that. My dad was a blue-collar worker, worked bridge construction all of his life, and is a carpenter, and is always, he's always in that sun. He's always in that, dead winter cold. His body has been beat, bruising, and hurt. But my dad's responsibility as a father within his home did not stop just because he got home from a long day's work. No, nonetheless, it began. He doubled down and he gave more. He showed up as a leader. He ate last. There were times financially he had to, in fact, eat last because he had to make sure his two boys were fed first. Growing up, my dad was, I think, a great leader and helped me understand what it meant to be a man and what kind of sacrifices a man's supposed to make. What are the responsibilities of a man after hours? I know you're dead tired. I know you're fatigued. I know that you're, tired and you don't want to do it. But that doesn't mean you shouldn't do it just because you don't feel like doing it. So understand that if you believe that you're just a breadwinner and this is all the more that you provide, then your relationship in your home is going to feel really shallow. And it's not going to be vibrant. And it's not going to be alive, and it's not going to be fully charged, and it's not going to feel like you're truly making a difference in your home and connecting to the very people within your home that you care so deeply about and the reason why you're showing up to work in the first place. So let me help you understand that the first stereotype that could be ruining your home life as a man is that you identify as just the breadwinner. The second one, the second stereotype that all men kind of hold, unfortunately, is that there's a stereotype that often portrays men as less emotional or expressive, discouraging them from openly discussing their feelings or seeking support. This lack of emotional expression in most men can oftentimes cause a relational breakdown within your home. If you feel like you are one of those men that never open up, that don't cry, that, don't speak what is on your heart and on your mind, you don't allow yourself to open up to your significant other, if you don't allow this to take place, let me tell you what's going to happen. The less you are to opening up your heart, the less connection you're going to feel. You are not going to feel deeply connected inside your home when you're not allowing yourself to connect to your truth. There's going to be a lack of intimacy. There's going to be a lack of connection. There's going to be a lack of love. There's going to be a lack of deep, meaningful relationship because your inability to connect deeply with yourself and allow yourself to deeply connect and get to know yourself and then to express yourself in a heart-driven way, meaning that, you might be feeling this way and you might not be opening up. However, you're going to hopefully step up to the plate and start talking to your wife, talking to your significant other about what you're experiencing. Women crave emotional connection. The way you create emotional connection is becoming a little bit more emotional and understanding that that's okay. And this is my perspective. I'm not saying this is going to be everyone's perspective. So just understand that this is just how I lead my life. I believe that emotions don't drive me, but I don't drive emotion away either. Meaning, like, if something's on my heart and mind and I know that it's causing me to disconnect from my wife, I'm making sure that I bring that up to my wife, because when I walk through the home and if I'm carrying baggage from the day's work that I've done into my home and I throw it at her and throw up on her and I give her an attitude, I have to make sure that she understands. So part of my responsibility as a man or as a leader within my own home is to help her understand through clear communication that everything that I'm feeling today has nothing to do with her, but everything that I experienced today. And you're just in the direct fire. But I promise you, honey, that I love you. I care for you. I'm just going through an experience of high stress, of high overwhelm, of high anxiety, of high worry. And you're the person that's right in front of me that's getting it. So the two stereotypes that could potentially be ruining your life as a man within your home is your identity as a breadwinner and your identity of believing that you have a lack of emotional expression. If you believe you lack emotional expression and you're just there to be a breadwinner, you're going to continue to dive into a hole that you're going to find yourself hard to get out of. Because here's what most women want and need. They want you to be the protector, the provider, and the lover. When you are lacking emotional resilience and emotional expression, when you lack that, you're going to lack connection with the person that you love and care about. So we got to change that, right? So listen, maybe start to think about if you identify yourself as a breadwinner or if you identify yourself as someone who lacks emotional expression. Now, the reason why I believe this is important is because ultimately, if you can help yourself to identify who it is that you are when you walk in your home will begin to change. But right now, many of you do not have a vision for yourself or for your home. I didn't for the longest time until my mentor sat down with me and asked me, who do I want to be for my wife? How do I want to show up? Now, we're going to talk about, what you can begin to do and what I believe your responsibilities as a man are within your home. So this is going to be an important conversation to be had and to be held with an open mind, because ultimately what I'm saying doesn't need to be 100% true for you. I just want you to understand that these are some of the things that have helped me develop a deeply loving relationship with my wife. A relationship that I've been blessed to have, and to the point where, I'm not boasting about it, I'm just grateful for it. And I hope that by sharing some of these insights of how I show up for my wife, maybe you can do the same, because I too am fatigued. I too am tired. I too am stressed. I too am overwhelmed. I too am physically broken, right? I'm tired. I'm exhausted. I too want to go home and just lay on the couch, eat some food, and watch some football. Like, that's what I want to do when I get home. But that is not what's going to lead me to where I want to end up. I don't want to be another statistic going through another divorce. I don't want to go through a divorce. I've already talked about in episode 1 how I was born into a broken home. Now it's my responsibility to not build and create a broken home because I'm showing up in a broken manner because of the weight of the world was on my shoulders. So the first responsibility as the man within my home is this is the one thing that I do every single day, no matter what. The first thing that I do is I make sure, I call it the power hour, the victory hour. I believe that it's my responsibility to wake up an hour before my household does, and in this case, before my wife does, to really spend time with myself and with God, to really make sure that who I am is very intentional, that who I'm going to be is already visualized and planned out. I've already figured out an hour before my wife wakes up is how I'm going to show up for her, because I've given myself an hour before she wakes up to figure that out. Now, this is what I do. I'm not saying that you have to do it, but I'm telling you it's helped me significantly improve my relational dynamic within my home because I've allowed myself 1 hour to figure out my day, who I want to be, what I want to get done before she comes to me with her own problems or her own stories or her own situations or her own, greatness that takes place that day. You see, when I feel physically, emotionally, spiritually exhausted, I sometimes am not that excited even when I should be for my wife. When she shares good news with me, sometimes I don't feel super excited for her. And it's because I haven't spent the time to take care of myself. So what I'm asking you to do is part of the responsibility of being a good leader within your home so that you can create happiness in your home is to make sure that you're spending time creating happiness for yourself. Now, I know a lot of you are going to say, well, that's easier said than done. Well, no kidding. Everything's easier said than done. That's no excuses today. The idea here is if you even can give yourself a half hour, and utilize that half hour to really sit down to take care of yourself, meaning like you're going to sit down and I'm asking you to open up a journal or to speak out into existence who you are going to be today. I am going to be a happy, healthy, positive leader within my home. I'm going to be a lover. I'm going to be a server today. Identify some keywords. And then once you identify some keywords, like let's say I'm going to be a lover today. Like when I come home after hours, I want to make sure that I'm a lover because I know she needs my love. Okay, so this is what I do. I not only write down the word, what I do then is I make sure that I have an actionable step that I can take to prove to myself that I'm acting in a place of love. So not only will I just say that I'm a lover, I will make sure that I have an actual step that I take that's going to help me to become that lover. So I can live in congruent to who I say I want to be. And what does that look like? So if I say that I'm going to show up as a lover today in my home, I understand that I need to make sure that I greet her in the morning with love, with a hug, with a kiss, with a note, with a full cup of coffee for her. I got to make sure that I am doing my chores or doing my due diligence to help her out and showing her that I'm here to support her. Okay, so my first bit that I want to share with you, and I have a couple here that we're going to walk through today, but my first bit is this. You've got to make sure that you're taking an hour for yourself to make sure that you are well equipped for the day so that you can lead your family. If you can't lead yourself, you will find it very hard to lead your family out of their own turmoil, chaos, struggles, dark times. They need you to show up for you. So that's number one. The second responsibility as a man is to make sure that you are being a team player. A team player is someone who works with others to achieve a common goal. The common goal is this. Most relationships forget this. The common goal is that we are to make it to the very end, till death do you part. If you're married, till death do you part. The common goal is for us to be in a happy, healthy, loving relationship together. If that's the common goal, then you've got to understand that the bottom line is that we're on a team. And we're going to do whatever it takes to make sure that we stay on the team. That there's not us versus them. That it's not me versus you. That it's not you're wrong, I'm right. Or I'm right, you're wrong. Or whatever it is. It's that we're on a team and we want the same thing, which is we want to make sure that we're happy in this relationship together. So if the conversation that you're currently having is defeating and diminishing your wife because you need to be right, I'm going to tell you that you're wrong. That is not the goal. The goal is not for you to be right. It's to be a team player along the way, to see both sides, to hold grace, to be wrong, to be okay with being wrong, to be okay with being right, to be okay with just knowing you're right, but you have to be wrong in this situation with some things. Okay, so that's another key responsibility, is to show up and be a team player, to make sure that you're always trying to do whatever you can to be on the same team, to listen to them, to understand them, to know where they're coming from, to support them. Whatever your definition of a team player is, making sure that you're living in alignment to being a team player for her, because that is what's going to help you to go the distance to create a beautiful and loving relationship inside your home. The third responsibility of being a man is making sure that you're the visionary. Someone who reminds their family of who they are, what their family name stands for, and where they're going. I think there's a verse in the Bible that says, the without a vision, the people perish, right? So this idea is that you are the visionary of your last name. You are the CEO of your last name. Do you understand that? You shouldn't be wearing someone else's jersey with their last name on it because you idolize them more than you idolize your own last name. One thing that I hold strong to myself, and I hope this doesn't come across arrogant because it's coming from a really heart-driven place, but I will not wear someone else's last name on my back. I am the CEO and owner of my last name. Now, I have athletes that I love, that I support, but I'm not going to go buy their jersey just because I support them. No, I'm going to wear my own last name. I'm going to own that. Some of you men out there are struggling to gain the support of their wives because you're not the one supporting your own last name. You're not idolizing. You're not wearing your own jersey. You're not showing up for yourself. You know more about your favorite athlete than you do of yourself. And this is disappointing. And no wonder many homes are failing. It's because you don't know enough about your wife or about yourself, comparing it to your favorite athlete or, your fantasy football team. This disgusts me, but this is what's breaking down homes and marriages, is because you would rather wear another man's last name on your back than to rep your own. Because you don't understand, you don't understand your own family's last name, what that means to you. What vision you're setting that to mean for you, your kids, and your wife, and your significant other. You don't have a vision for your last name. You don't have a vision for your family. You don't have a vision. You don't have values for yourself. No wonder you're not excited to wear your own jersey. You're not excited to represent your own last name. You're not excited to be the CEO of your own last name. This is what you need to make sure that you start to become more responsible for, is you are the CEO of your own last name. Wear it proudly and make sure that your family knows what that last name stands for, and make sure that your family knows what you're driving for and who you are and what your family's about. Make sure you sit down and have that conversation, because this is a conversation that's very needed. I have a couple more reminders here of the responsibility of what it means to be a man within your home. You've got to be the provider, the person who gives someone something they need. The provider is, once again, the breadwinner. There is a part of a responsibility that you need to be the breadwinner within your own home. You need to make sure that your family is taken care of financially. You don't have to go to work. You get to go to work. Every time that my wife gets to be at home with our dog, I am so grateful that I get to go to work and support her while I'm at work, and she gets to live the life that she wants to live that day. I don't have to go to work. I get to go to work because I get to support and show my support by providing for my family, providing the financial resources that she needs for her to have nice things, for her to have good health care, for her to take care of herself, for her to be able to eat the good food, for her. I get to provide for her. My work is not my headache. That is not my responsibility is to provide for her. And so your responsibility, your change in mindset is you don't have to go to work. It's not just another day. No, it is a day for you to take care of your family, to help your family win financially. What a beautiful blessing that you have to be able to do that. So remember, part of the responsibility of being a man is, once again, make sure that you have an hour a day set aside to take care of yourself, be a team player, be the visionary, be the provider, and then be the protector. There's something within every man's heart is to serve, to be the protector. That's why there's a lot of warriors who are men, who go to fights, go to battles, go to wars. They have this eternal internal drive to provide and protect, to make sure that we're there to protect our lady. Listen, if someone disrespects her, then you're going to have a problem with me. That's the mindset that you have to have. If someone threatens her or speaks to her poorly, you step in and you protect what is yours. There is this hunger within each man to be a protector. Make sure that you're showing up as one. Protect the person that you love from harm. Are you doing that? Or are you letting someone else, some troll, walk all over them? Or are you the troll that's walking all over them? Protect them because you love them. You know, the last two big ideas here is this. I need you to tune back into your heart. I need you to get out of your head for a moment. I need you to tune into your heart. I need you to become the lover. I need you to become the lover. She needs your love. There's a book out there called Love and Respect. Powerful book. Powerful book. If you study this book, and by this book alone, I promise you your relationship dynamic would completely change if you understood that all that she wants is love and all that he needs is your respect. If you understood this book, your relationship would change. Your home life would change. You would become a better lover, a better leader, a better server, a better provider, protector, visionary, a team player, because you would know what to do. So I recommend checking out that book because that book changed the dynamic of my own relationship after 6 years. And I know it can do you, and it's already changed millions of other couples, and I believe it will change yours. So check that out, Love and Respect. And last thing that I think the responsibility of a man is to be the leader. You know, it says to be the one who knows the way, goes the way, and shows the way. You must do, act, say, and be the person you want your family to be. How powerful is it to be a leader for your own last name, for your own family? Be the one who knows the way. Be the visionary. That's what that means. You know, you have to set the vision, or if you don't set the vision, your family will perish. They have nothing to stand for. They have nothing to fight for. They have nothing to focus on. The reason why a lot of families fall apart is because they have nothing worth focusing in on, focusing forward on. Set the vision. Give them something to chase after. Give them something that will pull them out of the pits of darkness. Give them something that you can show them that this is the way. So know the way. Go that way and show the way. Be the leader. Be the example. Show up for them. Do whatever it takes to be the man you need to be for the home that you deserve to live in, the kingdom you deserve to build. The castle, you are the king. She is your queen, and she must be treated as such. Then you will be treated as such. So start to do and to act and to say and to be the person that you want your family to be. My dear friend, today was another solo round, and I'm hoping that I can start getting more guests on. This is episode number 2 on Honey, I'm Home, to invite the conversation on what you believe it means to be a man. What are your responsibilities in your house? What are the things that you should be focusing in on? What are you currently not doing? Are you holding yourself accountable? Are you giving yourself an hour each day to make sure that you're taken care of so that you can take care of your significant other in your home? Are you being the visionary? Are you casting out the vision to give them a hope-filled future? Are you being the provider, the one who gives someone something they need? Are you being the protector? Are you being the lover? Are you being the leader? Are you being these things? These are your responsibility. This is what I believe that you are called to do. There's so many more conversations. There's so many more ways that we can talk about the responsibility of being a man. But the responsibility, here's what I need you to know. The responsibility of being a man, you need to know your responsibilities, what it means to be a man within your home. Because I know you know what your responsibilities are at work, but do you know what your responsibilities are at home? My dear friend, at the end of every episode, I like to leave you with something actionable, something that you can take away, something that you can think about, meditate on, and spend some time with, because I don't believe that knowledge is anything without action. And every episode, it's going to be my hope to bring you something that's actionable, that you can take away from and you can apply in your own life to see the change that you really want to see and experience. So this week, I need you to think about, what should your responsibilities be in your own home? Who are you going to be when you get home? And how are you going to show up? I need you to answer these 3 questions. What are your responsibilities in your home? Who are you going to be in your home? And how are you going to show up in your home? I need you to get clear on them. I need you to get clear on the answers, and then come up with 3 actionable steps that you can take that can help you to live in alignment to those very 3 things that you want to be, should be, and can be for your home. So spend some time thinking about it. My friend, my name is Tylerjoestratton. I am here to love, to lead, and to serve you to my greatest ability, to invite conversations with people that hold some amazing values, some knowledge, skill set, and ability to lead within their own homes. I'm not here as the expert, but I am here to help bring on people who can bring us insight, knowledge, and wisdom to help us win in our homes. And if you found this episode helpful today, encouraging, supportive, and/or uplifting, please do me a favor and share this out with 1, 2, or 3 of your friends. Tag me on social media at Tylerjoestratton, and I'll be sure to share it on my feed. I hope that this message reaches you and it helps to encourage you to become a better leader and man within your own home so that we can create happier homes, which I then believe creates happier humans, which then creates a happier world.